ESPN just dropped their list of what every NFL team needs to do before training camp, and their take on the Raiders? It's not wrong, but it's not the whole picture either. They're saying Vegas needs to extend Kolton Miller. And yeah, that makes sense. But here's the thing. If that's your biggest priority right now, you're missing the forest for the trees. What's up, buddies? Welcome back. If you are new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We cover all AFC West news here on this channel. Now, before we get into it, I want you to drop a comment right now and tell me this. What do you think is the most urgent move the Raiders need to make? Because I guarantee most of you are thinking about the obvious stuff, but the real answer might surprise you. Okay, let's start with what ESPN actually said. They want the Raiders to lock up Kolton Miller. And honestly, I can't argue with that logic. Miller is the best offensive lineman on this roster, period. His numbers from last season tell the story. 80.6 PFF grade, 13th in the league among tackles. From week 6 onward, the guy only gave up 1 sack. 1. But here's what's really getting to me. We're sitting here on June 30th, and this deal still isn't done. Miller skipped voluntary workouts back in April because he wants his money, and the man literally said he wants to be a Raider for life. So, what exactly is the holdup here? Think about this for a second. We traded away a 3rd-round pick to get Geno Smith. We gave Geno an extension before he even took a snap in a Raiders uniform. But we can't get a deal done with the guy who's supposed to protect his blind side. That's backwards thinking, and it makes no sense when you consider Seattle's offensive line was trash last season. Geno got sacked 50 times. If we want the version of Geno that made us trade for him in the first place, we better make sure he's got protection. The money is there too. We've got somewhere between 31 and 36 million in cap space, depending on who you ask. A 2-year extension for Miller, probably around 41 million with 31 guaranteed, fits perfectly with this regime's timeline. Carroll's got 3 years, Spytek's got 5, and we're trying to build something here. Here's where I'm going to disagree with ESPN though. Yes, extend Miller. But if that's your #1 priority, you're not looking at the big picture. There are moves that matter more, and I'm going to rank them for you. Coming in at number 4, and this might catch some of you off guard, extend Jakobi Meyers. I know, another extension, but hear me out. Meyers has 0 guaranteed money left on his deal, just like Miller. He's been a consistent producer. He's bought into the culture, and in today's NFL, finding players who actually want to be where they are is rare. Give him 2 more years, keep him through 2027, and you've got stability at a position where we've had nothing but chaos for years. Number 3 is the Miller extension we just talked about. It is important, but not urgent, the way some other things are. Number 2 is where things get interesting, and this is something I haven't heard anyone else talking about. We need to restructure Christian Wilkins' contract. Now, before you come at me in the comments, let me explain. Wilkins was my favorite signing when we made it. The guy is a beast when he's healthy. But that's the problem. When he's healthy. We already restructured his deal once, which is why he's got those void years in 2028 or 2029. But the reality is he's not going to be 100% this season. There's going to be another surgery, whether it's now or at the end of the year. And if we get the version of Wilkins this season, or if he barely plays, then we're looking at paying a guy 37 and 33 million in 2026 and 2027 for someone who's given us 2 years of not much. The salary cap's going up with the new TV deals coming in 2028, so adding another void year or 2 in 2029 and 2030 makes sense. It gives us more flexibility to actually chase that Super Bowl in 2026 and 2027 without being handcuffed by a contract that might not age well. But here's my #1 priority, and this is where I think everyone's missing the boat. We need secondary help, and we need it now. Look, if our defensive line was Malcolm Kuntz, a healthy Wilkins, Adam Butler, Max Crosby, with Tyree Wilson coming along, maybe I'd feel different about our secondary. But if Wilkins isn't the guy we thought we were getting, our defensive line isn't going to be nasty enough to cover up what we've got in the back end. I'm talking about free safety specifically. That's the biggest hole on this roster right now. Here's who I think we should be looking at, Stephon Gilmore. Yeah, he's a corner, but elite corners can transition to safety. We've seen it work with guys like Charles Woodson and Patrick Peterson. Quandre Diggs is out there at safety. Mike Hilton could help in the slot. But the 2 guys I really want, Julian Blackmon and Justin Simmons. Both are free safeties. Both can make an immediate impact, and both are still available because teams are being cheap. Simmons especially. The guy's been productive everywhere he's been, and he's exactly the type of veteran presence this secondary needs. Here's what's really bothering me about all this. We're arguing about contract extensions and restructures, but we're ignoring the elephant in the room. This defense has question marks everywhere you look. If our pass rush isn't elite, and without a healthy Wilkins it won't be, then we're asking a secondary with Jack Jones, Nate Hobbs, and a bunch of question marks to hold up against Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, and Bo Nix twice a year each. That's not a winning formula. That's a recipe for getting torched through the air while our offense tries to keep up in shootouts. And I don't care how good Geno Smith looks in practice. If our defense can't stop, none of it matters. The window is right now. We've got Adams for maybe 2 more good years. We've got Crosby locked up. We've got pieces on offense that can work. But defense wins championships, and right now, our defense has more holes than a golf course. So, when ESPN says the Raiders need to extend Kolton Miller, they're right, but they're not thinking big enough. Miller's extension is maintenance. It's keeping what we already have. What we need is improvement, and that starts with acknowledging that this secondary isn't good enough as it is currently constructed. We've got 17 days until rookies report, 22 days until veterans show up. That's not a lot of time, but it's enough time to make moves that actually matter. Sign a safety. Get Wilkins' deal sorted out so we know what we're working with, then worry about the extensions, because here's the reality nobody wants to talk about. If we go into this season with the same secondary we had last year, plus whatever rookies we're hoping will contribute immediately, we're not making the playoffs. Not in the AFC West. Not with the schedule we've got. The Raiders have been talking about competing for 3 years now. Well, competing means making the hard decisions and spending the money where it actually matters. A free safety who can cover ground and make plays on the ball matters more than extending a left tackle who's already under contract for this season. So, yeah, I want Miller extended, I want Meyers locked up, but I want to win more than I want to feel good about keeping our guys happy. And winning in this division with these quarterbacks means you better be able to cover receivers and create turnovers. Right now, I'm not sure we can do either. So that's my take. ESPN got it half right, but they're thinking like it's 2019 when protecting the quarterback was enough. In 2025, you need to be able to create pressure and cover receivers. We might have the pressure part figured out if Wilkins gets healthy. We definitely don't have the coverage part figured out. What do you think? Am I wrong about the secondary being the biggest need? Are you more worried about the offensive line extensions? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. YouTube tags format under 500 characters. Kolton Miller, contract extension, Raiders free safety needs, Raiders training camp priorities, Justin Simmons Raiders, Christian Wilkins Restructure Raiders, Raiders secondary 2025. ESPN Raiders offseason take, Raiders offseason analysis, Jakobi Meyers extension, Raiders Geno Smith, Raiders offensive line, Raiders biggest need 2025. In this video, we break down why the Raiders' free safety needs and secondary depth are far bigger concerns heading into 2025. Should the team sign Justin Simmons? Restructure Christian Wilkins' deal? Extend Jakobi Meyers? We'll also cover how the Raiders' offensive line impacts Geno Smith's success and what ESPN got dead wrong. This is the Raiders offseason analysis fans actually need to hear. Let's fix the Raiders' biggest need before it's too late.